Finally, Social Security is getting a push as 2023 is supposed to be the year of Social Security reform. However, we've seen very little done by Congress to actually get something done. And 2024 is going to be the year of the presidential elections. And wait till you see the video footage that came out last night of the first GOP debates. As the frontrunner was not Ron DeSantis, it was actually Vivek Ramaswamy. Now, if you haven't heard of him before, he's actually an extremely successful entrepreneur. Turns out he's actually a billionaire, so he knows a thing or two about money. And without a doubt, he was the one that was not afraid to vocalize his opinions, to raise his hand on stances to support former President Donald Trump, to vocalize his opinions on Social Security. I'm going to be sharing with you some video footage on this, as he says we have got to make good on our promises to those that depend on this. And he's got a plan to make sure we can extend the solvency so we do not run out of funds and are not able to pay out full benefits. I'm going to share with you the clip and let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with him? And if he's willing to take this on, would you vote for him? Or if you're conservative, would you still lean towards maybe Trump or DeSantis? Or are you one of the 3 out of 10 Americans that still support Joe Biden and think that his 4-point plan is going to help out Social Security and our country? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, after the debates last night, articles coming out like this: GOP presidential debate. How can these 8 Republican nominees impact the future of Social Security? I'm going to get into all the details and share with you the video footage so you can see the latest. But before we do me a quick favor. If you appreciate the updates, don't forget, smash that like button for me. Just takes a second, helps out a ton. Thank you so much. And to stay up to date, it's totally free. Why not just hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. I'll let you know everything going on with Social Security, the debates, the elections, Congress, politics, so that way you know what's going on and what's available for you and your family. But with that being said, let's go ahead and start off with some video footage of the debates, and then I'm going to share with you what Vivek Ramaswamy had to say about Social Security.
We need to send Joe Biden back to his basement and reverse American decline.
You all signed a pledge to support the eventual Republican nominee. If former President Trump is convicted in a court of law, would you still support him as your party's choice? Please raise your hand if you would.
I mean, look, Joe Biden has weakened this country at home and abroad. Now is not the time for on-the-job training. We don't need to bring in a rookie. We don't need to bring in people without experience. We need to bring
I've had enough already tonight of a guy who sounds like ChatGPT standing up here.
This is exactly why Margaret Thatcher said, if you want something said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman.
Can't we have a minimum standard in every state in the nation that says when a baby is capable of feeling pain, an abortion cannot be allowed?
Don't make women feel like they have to decide on this issue when you know we don't have 60 Senate votes in the House.
70% of the American people support legislation to ban abortion after a baby is capable of experiencing pain.
You know, Nikki, I wish you well in your future career on the boards of Lockheed and Raytheon.
You know, I'm not on
but the fact of the matter,
and you know,
Boeing came off of it, but you've been pushing this lie. You've been pushing this lie all week, Nikki.
You want to go and defund Israel? You want to
okay, let me address that. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to address each of those right now. This is the false lies of a professional politician. There you have it.
Your watch, so the reality is, America less safe. You have no foreign policy experience, and it shows.
And you know what? The foreign policy experience.
Man, let me know your thoughts. They were going after him, and they were calling him a rookie, saying that he has no experience as a politician. However, I think the vast majority of America is sick of politicians. That's one of the things that I feel like ushered in former President Donald Trump, was the fact that we are sick of the lip service and the professional politicians. We actually want somebody that will get stuff done. I think that actually works in his favor. I'm not sure. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And one of the things that I noticed was when they asked about former President Donald Trump, he was the first one to raise his hand, unapologetically. You saw other ones kind of lift their hand up afterwards, seeing how the crowd would respond, and just kind of irked me, kind of that politician response where, what do the people want me to say? Oh, they want me to raise my hand, then I'll raise my hand. Whereas with Vivek, he just raised his hand. He was like, this is my stance. If you don't like it, too bad. And I think that's one of the things that might resonate with America, is just share with us what you actually believe, not what you think that you want us to hear. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, if we take a look at this and we scroll down here, you can see that they've got all the candidates and their stances. We've heard from Ron DeSantis, Mike Pence, Nikki Haley. I shared all of these with you guys. But if you get down here to Vivek Ramaswamy, we see that Ramaswamy is the co-founder and executive chairman of the Strive Asset Management, has said that the proposals to reform Social Security come from a good place, according to the Washington Post. He also believes that the government should honor its commitment to those who paid into the system. So he's saying take care of those on Social Security. Now, if the government has made you certain commitments that you have lived your life and paid in as you have over the last number of years in your life, that you can't just pull that rug out from underneath them. So he's saying we have got to take care of those on Social Security. And let's take a look at the video footage of what he had to say as his plan in response to a question just this month on Social Security. Let's go ahead and take a look.
When you're president for 8 years, you're going to have to face the issue of Social Security.
Yes.
And there are a few people here who are collecting right now. I don't know if everybody is aware that if nothing is done, everybody's going to get a 24% haircut. And they're going to have to start means testing and a lot of other, you raise the retirement age, you know. What's your view here? How are we going to solve this problem?
So the first thing is I think we are starting with such a rock bottom basis of trust in this country that I just want to be clear at the outset about one thing. No cuts for seniors on Social Security or Medicare. We have to stand by the commitments we've already made as a basic backdrop of trust. Now, what I'm focused on is economic growth, GDP growth in this country. Turns out that if we continue growing at 1 point something percent per year, you're right, we're out of money. If we're back to 4% GDP growth, we actually grow our way out of many of our fiscal problems. How do we grow the economy? Let's start with that. Unlock American energy. Drill, frack, burn coal, embrace nuclear energy. Put people back to work by no longer using federal funds to pay them more to stay at home. Reform the U.S. Federal Reserve, stabilize the dollar as a unit of measurement. Shutting down that administrative state, that's the source of most of the federal regulations that act like a wet blanket on most of the U.S. economy. This is our path back to 3, 4, 5+% GDP growth. And then against the backdrop of actually us having more money in our pocket, already growing our way out of our problems, our debt to GDP ratio improves if our GDP grows faster. Then we can actually have rational conversations about, let's say, quirks in Social Security today, like the fact that if you're a working senior, you're actually penalized for working. Many people want to continue working, and yet in some cases there are seniors in this country that are only getting 2 cents for every incremental dollar they make because we disincentivize work. This is nutty. We have more jobs available in this country than we do have people. So for people who want to work, they should still be able to get their Social Security payments that they paid into, but also earn on top of that. That's how we deliver economic growth. So that's working out some of these unintentional quirks in Social Security that waste money. And then I think we got to learn some lessons from the past. Back when we did have a Social Security surplus, it wasn't that long ago. If we had just allowed that money to be invested by Social Security in the same way that your financial advisor would recommend that you invest your money in a diversified portfolio, we would be swimming in surplus today. And yet we're in deficit. So what does that mean? It's the bureaucracy. The bureaucracy is the source of the problem. And if we don't learn from our mistakes of the past, we're destined to make the same mistakes in the future. That bureaucracy acts as the impediment to economic growth. Tear it down, unshackle ourselves, unleash the beast of our U.S. economy. From a position of growth, we're in a much better place, fix the quirks, get back to a place of surplus, and then actually allow people to invest it in a diversified portfolio that invests, including the market, so that we can actually catch up and never make this mistake again. That is what I intend to do against the backdrop principle of no cuts for seniors, because we have to ensure trust for people to be able to get what they've actually been promised. That's my answer. Thank you. I appreciate that question.
So there you have it. That was Vivek Ramaswamy. Now, one of the things that we did not hear him address was potential increases, which a lot of people are saying that what they are receiving, the benefit payouts, are not keeping up with inflation and what needs to be given to seniors. I would like to see that addressed. Maybe that question could come up in the next debates. Social Security, let's get into the details. Now, in addition to that, we've seen the 2100 Act and the Social Security Expansion Act both mentioned just in the past month again, these being reintroduced, and it is time for them to address these. Now, to get the latest on this, be sure to check out these videos right here as I cover them in detail for you, and as more information comes out, I'll be sure to keep you up to speed here on the channel. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next one. Let me know your thoughts on Vivek. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.